Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can turn talent into fixed ops advantage. Today, we're joined by Anthony Pantaleone, Sales VP, and Cobi Collins, Client Experience VP from Trego. And for our audience listening today, Trego provides job fit and employee assessment data that helps fixed ops leaders turn people decisions into their competitive advantage, hire better, lead stronger, and drive results. Anthony and Cobi, it's great to have you on today.
Great to
Thank,
be here.
thank you so much, Ted and Sarah. We love being here.
Cobi and Anthony, Go Trego does such a great job in our industry. Congratulations. And what a time. We were talking about it in the green room to be in our industry. And with that, let's kind of turn to some of the things that our industry is facing and has for some time, Cobi, the problem retail automotive turnover.
Yeah, Ted and Sarah, and everyone listening, we really know we are at a pivotal moment in the auto industry. Technology is evolving, but the real differentiator that you all know, it has not changed people. The data makes that very clear. So, turnover in automotive retail is now, are y'all ready for this? Like, seriously, hang on to your steering wheels. It's a $20 billion per year problem. Billion. And we've learned so much over the last few months. And even according to the 2025 NADA dealership workforce study, based on over 250,000 payroll records, turnover has increased for 3 consecutive years. Like, what is going on? We're seeing 39 to 46% turnover across all roles, and in sales, as high as 126%. I was blown away by some of these numbers. And so we really started digging in. And when you layer the fact that turnover costs roughly 50% of an employee's annual salary, this becomes very real, very fast for dealers. So it's not just an HR issue anymore. This is a financial and operational challenge that directly impacts performance, right, Anthony?
Yeah, absolutely, Kobe. I mean, these numbers are staggering. And what's changed in our approach is we no longer look at hiring as filling roles. We look at it as a driver of economic value. Great businesses don't leave things to chance. And when you can quantify behaviors and connect it to performance outcomes, something really powerful happens. First, success leaves clues. Second, a process is created. And then lastly, results become repeatable. That's how you begin to reverse these trends that we're seeing across the industry.
I love that statement, Anthony, that success leaves clues. And what we're seeing with our clients is that very shift from guessing about people to actually knowing. So, no more guesswork. Y'all can rest easy at night. When leaders start using objective data to make these hiring and development decisions, things begin to stabilize. We're all looking for that prediction, stability, because we've got to know what's coming down the pipeline. And so you see more consistency in performance, you see better retention, and a lot more confidence in the decisions that they're making day to day. I know this industry has accepted high turnover as normal. We are here to tell you that is a choice. You can say no to that choice, and we can help you do that.
Cobi, it's staggering to hear this data regarding turnover and Anthony, what's behind and what's driving these turnover numbers?
Well, Sarah, I mean, at a high level, this comes down to one thing: hiring methods haven't evolved. And most dealerships are still relying on resumes and now chat GPT resumes and gut feel, which are really poor predictors of performance. One of the most important principles in building great businesses is this: systems, not smiles.
Mhm.
In our world, that translates to you can't rely on instinct alone and expect consistent results. And when you're seeing turnover at 40% plus across the board and over 100% in sales, it tells you we're not selecting people based on what actually drives success in the role. And this goes back to something that Carl Sewell said. He asked a simple question: how good do you want to be? Because before process, before technology, you have to decide to get better. And you simply can't build an above average business with average employees.
Mm.
And that's exactly what led Sewell to work with Dr. Trego. I mean, they went from hiring a top performer 1 out of 4 times to 1 out of 2. So they doubled their odds.
Okay.
And when you combine that with the fact that each turnover event costs about 50% of salary, you're not just losing people, you're losing real dollars, real margin, and real momentum. And in my view, the biggest hidden cost, Ted and Sarah, isn't even the turnover. It's the missed economic value of not hiring top performers in the first place.
Man, that really shows up every day in the dealership, right? Leaders are constantly in a cycle of rehiring, retraining, trying to get people up to speed again. It creates this overall fatigue in the organization, and teams never really reach their full productivity. I know this drives GMs crazy because they're doing everything they know to do, and there's this one piece missing. So it's not just a cost issue like we talked about before, it's consistency and performance that compounds over time, right? The undeniable compound effect. It's found in interest, investments, and people strategy.
So, Cobi and Anthony, that consistency speaks to fixed ops, fixed operations. Uh, Cobi, can you walk us through a real fixed ops, fixed operations example?
Okay, well, yeah, oh my goodness, we've got so many, right, Anthony? Oh my gosh. But most recently, all right, so this is a good one. Most recently, we worked with a dealership group that was really focused specifically on improving service advisor performance, which is one of the most impactful roles in fixed operations. They assessed 40 advisors. Remember, this is one dealer group. They assessed 40 advisors. They tracked their performance over a full year, measured repair orders, and total revenue. What they found was a very strong correlation between behavioral traits and actual performance. I know so often we focus on hard skills, but soft skills, our behavior, are what drive our approach to work. And so we can understand those hard skills better. They gave them something they didn't have before: predictability. So that information gave them that data. They could then start identifying who was likely to perform before making the hire. We all find out afterwards. Our goal is to help you find out beforehand and avoid the mishire. So that way we don't have to find out after the fact. But here's where it gets really exciting. Anthony, will you do me a favor and take us through those hard numbers?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Cobi. So, this is where the shift really happens from being a basic hiring conversation to a critical business conversation. Top performers don't just perform a little better, they create significantly more economic value. And this ties directly back to a core business principle. Every customer interaction has lifetime value. And in fixed ops, every hire has lifetime value too. So we're seeing top advisors generate about 135 more repair orders per month.
Hmm.
Now, if you translate that into dollars, Ted,
Yeah.
I mean, the average repair order is roughly $350, and that's probably very conservative.
Yeah.
And I just went in and had a battery changed, and I was like at over 3. So typically gross profit is about 55%. So you're probably looking at about $190 per repair order in terms of gross profit. So get this, that means per advisor, you're looking at roughly 26,000 more gross profit per month. So if we calculate that out over 12, that's over $300,000 per year per advisor. So I'm sure the math is going on in your head right now. If you scale this out over multiple advisors, what does that mean to your business? And this isn't a marginal improvement. This is a massive revenue and profit swing tied directly to who you hire. So yes, we help reduce turnover costs, but the real opportunity is upgrading the lifetime economic output of every hire.
Anthony, this is so fascinating. So this really, the data that you have available that GoTrego it has collected, this is really about business performance.
Oh, absolutely, Sarah. I mean, Jack Welch said it best: strategy, execution, and people go together.
Yeah.
Most organizations focus
Right.
heavily on strategy,
Right.
and they're challenged by the people and the execution parts. But people are the multiplier behind both. And if you look at the best dealerships, this is where they separate themselves. They've made excellence repeatable. And that's what the really best operators do. And the biggest difference I see between average and top performing stores isn't effort, because everybody rolls their sleeves up and works hard. Get this, it's precision. Precision in who they hire,
Mm.
precision in how they coach, and precision in how they align people to roles. So once you quantify what used to be gut feel, performance becomes repeatable. And when you
Mm.
get the right people, performance will improve, turnover will decrease, and revenue will accelerate. And that's how you create true competitive advantage.
Man, Anthony, I love that you referred to Jack Welch. I think I quote him more often than anyone else. And he also reminds us that the game is won or lost before it starts based on the team you field. The team that fields the best players wins,
Yeah.
period. And what we see with high performing dealerships is they understand and they own this opportunity to win. They don't sit around going, I think I'm pretty good. They actually know. They use data, they know, and they own the opportunity to win. They're not just trying to fix problems. They're building systems that create, I'm going to say it again, consistency, predictability. And when that happens, everything starts to stabilize and scale.
So, Cobi, let's come back to the culture conversation. How does this impact the culture?
So our approach to growing healthy organizational culture is really more holistic. We don't just talk about straight culture. We look at the entire organization, top down, side to side. And we're not just focused on hiring. We're really working with leadership teams because culture doesn't change from the bottom up. It
Mm.
changes through how leaders show up every day. There's really I'm very passionate about this statement. That's why I'm pausing. There's really no excuse anymore for weak or ineffective leadership. We have too many resources. It's too easy to implement, and people can actually become great people leaders, even if it's not just natural for them. They can grow into that. And whether you know it or not, like it or not, the leader's job is to show up every single day ready to draw out the best in their people
Yeah.
through strategy. It's intentional. It's not hard. It doesn't have to take a bunch of time. It just takes a little bit more awareness. So no more guesswork and crossed fingers, right, Anthony?
Oh yeah, that's supported by research too, Kobe. I mean, McKinsey has found that personal development in leaders is
Mm.
the most powerful driver of culture change. So that's why we focus on looking at this holistically. So we help leaders build self awareness because it begins with self. We have to help them improve how they coach others so it can be impactful. And we help them align their behavior with the business strategy, which in this industry, it's all about customer intimacy. That's what creates a culture where people not only stay, but they perform.
Mm.
Anthony, coming back into the culture conversation, Ted and I are fortunate at the Roundtable. We have a lot of very high performing dealership groups, and a lot of them are thinking about culture and have already some type of process or personality testing in place when they're looking at their new hires or evaluating their team. So Anthony, what about dealerships who do already have some type of process like this in place?
Well, Sarah, I love hearing that. It tells me they're already thinking the right way and that hiring matters, culture matters. But here's the difference. And it reminds me of something our good friend Marco told me about the importance of diagnostic scan tools. So shout out to Marco. He told me, Anthony, you can go on Amazon and you can buy like a scan tool for $20.
Yeah.
Or you can use an OEM scanner for like $15,000. Both give you information, but which one gives you better accuracy, a faster diagnosis, less wasted time, and a better customer experience? It's the same idea here. There are a lot of assessment tools that give you insight into people, but when hiring decisions impact turnover, performance, and revenue, precision matters. And at this level, it's not about going from bad to good. It's about that 1 millimeter shift that drives more precision, more consistency, and more top performers. It's the difference between getting on the target and consistently hitting that bullseye. So there are a lot of imitations out there, but at the end of the day, we're the ultimate driving machine in this space, and there's no substitute.
There is no substitute. Is that what you just said, Anthony? Yeah. So did you guys catch that? Right? I call it a truth bomb, I think. There's no substitute. And the dealerships that really excel are the ones who are always looking for that edge, just that edge. Now, many of you know, and some of you don't, but I come from a racing family, a racing background of pro racers. And that 1 millimeter shift in work performance is like that 10-degree steering wheel offset in the IndyCar oval racing. It reduces the steering effort required for control and endurance, and it optimizes their left turn ability and lets them get to the inside faster. They're not satisfied with good enough, but are you? Do you know if you are? Have you gotten complacent and didn't mean to? Our top performing dealers really want consistency and predictability. We're going to keep saying it, right? This is a theme, and so we keep repeating it.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I was going to say, and building on that, I mean, this comes down to the quality of information you're using to stack and scale better decisions. I mean, Sewell moved from 1 out of 4 to 1 out of 2. Today, the opportunity is even greater because when you take a more complete approach to hiring, coaching, and leadership self-awareness, you can improve these odds even more. So now, Ted and Sarah, think about this for a second. If every hiring manager in a store makes just one better hire this week and next week and throughout the year, what does that do to a business?
Yeah.
And now if you stack better coaching into the rhythm of work every day, every week, what does that do to performance and retention? And one more, if every leader builds self-awareness in terms of how they lead, how they communicate, and how they motivate, what does that do to culture? So this is really about skill set. It's about getting 1% better every day as a leader of people, as an people, and as a motivator. Because that's what great operators do. They don't guess their way to performance. And they don't rely on $20 scan tools to get there.
Yep. Big shout out to Marco. So, Cobi, why does this approach really work?
Well, our goal is to not just hand you a tool and say, good luck, we hope it works, but to be a business partner with our clients. And it really comes down to that effective implementation. A lot of solutions in this space fail, not because they're bad ideas, but because they never actually become part of how the dealership operates day to day. They end up as shelfware. What we do differently is focus on making this simple, really practical, and usable from the start. That's one of the comments we get the most is, wow, this is the most easily applied, most practical tool that I can do something with time and time again. I can use this information over and over. And with this commitment to implementation, business improvement happens quicker. So getting adoption across the team is so critical. And that's our most successful dealerships, those who are just making huge differences and have culture that is attracting top performers naturally. Those are the ones that said, hey, we're going to go all in, not just putting our toe in the water, but we're going all in. And Dr. Trego, the psychologist and developer of our assessment suite and the name behind our company, Trego, he's really been a pioneer in the industrial and organizational psychology space. He created and validated the most practical tool that accurately matches people to jobs in the automotive industry. Ours is the only tool that was built with, in, and for this industry specifically. And he took out all of the psychobabble in the reporting. So there's no need for interpretation or certifications, but we put the power directly in the hands of the hiring leaders to speed quality decision making. I know sales managers like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for one more step. Techs, the best techs, they're not going to spend the time doing this. Well, we interviewed the top techs and they said, yes, we will. So we know that is not actually reality. It's just a biased belief that we've created ourselves. And we're trying to remove that thought to help you really get to high performance. So we work closely with the leadership team to make sure there's clear communication around why this addition to your existing process matters, right? We don't replace your process. We don't replace your system. We come right alongside it, easily slide in, and then go hand in hand. And so it connects to specific goals and what success looks like for you. And then just from there, we make the process really easy to adopt so that managers can actually use it in real time, not just conceptually, and get organizational buy-in. Over time, it takes a little time, we know, and that's crucial, and we help make sure that happens. And then the biggest piece is ongoing support. We stay engaged. We coach. We help teams apply this consistently. And I mean, that's my job. I am a client experience. Our goal is to make sure that this doesn't stall out, that nothing goes awry. We look at ROI. We make sure you're getting the results. And so it's not just something that once that you try and then move on. The tools are really designed to be used throughout the entire ecosystem. Even if we start in your highest turnover role, the goal is to move it throughout the organization so it all begins to make sense and the entire employee life cycle, hire to retire. So I really do promise that we're not going to be your next costly mistake. This sort of unrestricted, what I call full throttle use, is what drives sustainability. And it just shifts from being a tool to being a part of how the business runs.
Well, Cobi and Anthony, so much to unpack today. And I know our listeners are going to be, absorbing all of this incredible information. And I'll be so excited to continue to hear all of the success stories that GoTrego is having in the industry. For our audience that's listening today, what is the best way if they want to get more information, if they're curious to learn more, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, I think basically they can call or text me anytime, Sarah. My mobile number is on the ticker. And if anyone would be interested in what we've done, we've done some research. We've identified the top 6 behavioral traits of high performing service advisors. If anyone is interested in what the traits are, you can just text me and I'll flip them over to you. Or even better yet, I'll walk you through a free demo and show you exactly how this will work in your relationship.
Yeah, we're like the dealerships. Come kick the tires, take a test drive, right? Those top 6 behavioral traits of high performing service advisors. Look, we're not trying to hide any information. We want to make sure you all have it. And come on, we know you want to. So just call Anthony.
Right. There you have it. If you're curious what actually drives those levels of performance, GoTrego has the answers. They're in this industry for a long, long time with an unparalleled track record. Dr. Trego working with the Sewell organization for many, many years. It's actually in the book, okay? It's in Customers for Life. You can read about it. I think it's chapter 18, if I'm not mistaken.
Chapter 18, yes.
All right. So they literally helped write the book on this. Anthony Pantaleone and Cobi Collins there with GoTrego. You see down below not only their information, but you could see the website scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's gotrego.com. Gotrego.com, a big part of what we are doing at the Roundtable. And you see that's your cell phone number, Anthony, 856, because that's a good Jersey number. I recognize that.
Absolutely.
So they can actually not just call, they can text you.
Anytime, 24/7, Dad.
All right. Anthony Pantaleone, everybody, his cell phone scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Cobi Collins with GoTrego. Thank you for all you do for the industry, and we're greatly humbled and appreciative to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody,
Thanks so much.
Team from GoTrego here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.